Hello ladies, this little video is going to be about a breathing assessment, how to assess your breathing and how to know whether you or how to find out on which areas of the deep breathing you have to work. Okay, so first of all, we're going to start off. You can sit down nice and comfortable with your legs not crossed, please, and sit up nice and tall, good posture. And then you want to take your hands, right, and put them like this across your rib cage right here where your brow line is, okay? So your thumbs are pointing back, right, and your fingers are kind of laying on the front of your rib cage. And then I want you to take a deep breath in, deep inhale. Now observe and be aware what happened. Okay, when you inhaled, maybe even the good thing would be to videotape yourself so you can actually see what happens, or sit in front of a mirror while you do that so you can actually get feedback about what happens, right? So when you took that big breath in, did your shoulders come up like this, right? What did you feel in your hands? Did you feel your ribs expand? Did you feel like your fingers kind of spread apart like this, and also like this, like in the back? Did you feel your back, your thumbs right here move? Did your ribs move your thumb? Did your ribs move your fingers? Because what you should be feeling is like your ribs causing your fingers to spread apart, just like that, okay? So this is what you want to be feeling without your shoulders coming up. So don't worry, it sounds more complicated than it is, because I mean, you have time. You can assess each part like separately. I'm just packing it all together in one video. Okay, so all right, this is the rib expansion part, right? And then we want to move on. We want to go feel what happens like right here in the low back. Most people don't have any problems with expanding their belly when they breathe. As a matter of fact, a lot of people have started doing just the belly breathing, which means they have no rib expansion, but their belly just comes up and expands. So now you want to test for that. What you are doing, you can sit back a little bit in your chair, right? And it's good, it would be good if you have like a tall rest that's not inclined, or you can put also like a pillow or something in your low back, so you can feel it better. So now I want you to take a deep breath in again. You can put your hands here. And then I want you to feel, does your low back grow into the back seat, the backrest of your seat? So here's the thing: if you're sitting up tall and you don't have any contact with it, that's what I mean. But maybe put a pillow on your low back so you kind of have some kind of light contact, right? You can also try this in a car when you're driving, because usually you kind of sitting very close to the back lean, right? So you breathe in, your low back should make contact with your backrest, okay? So you should feel, this is how you feel it. You should feel your low back expand, okay? So, and the easiest way is to actually feel that is if you just sit back on something and then you feel your low back making contact with that something, okay? So that's just the easiest way. So this is what you want to feel here. Now, your breath, you inhale, doesn't just stop right here in your belly or in your back or wherever. You want to have this nice expansion all over, but your breath also goes all the way down into your pelvic floor. So your diaphragm sitting right here, right? Diaphragm sitting here like this, okay? So when you inhale, this gets pushed down, the diaphragm flattens, okay? And you can also already see what happens, that it puts pressure downwards, okay? So that's what's supposed to happen. That's what your breath does. This is how you train your core. The diaphragm flattens, puts pressure downwards, and all the way downwards, like all the way into your pelvic floor, all the way down here. You should feel with your inhale your pelvic floor region expand. And this is a little bit of a tricky one, okay? because it's not as easy. You have to, when it comes to the pelvic floor, you have to work with a lot of imagery and envisioning things. So what works for one might not work for the other. So I'm gonna put it this way: you want to feel like you have a balloon in there, right here, sitting right here, and with the inhale, the balloon inflates, and you can feel how it inflates and gets bigger and bigger and fills out this whole entire pelvic cavity, right? And it also will put slight pressure downwards. Now, this is one of the things that you want to be careful with if you have prolapse or you feel a heaviness down there. Those are the women, including myself, who can get very, very scared when they feel the inhale relaxing stuff down. So it doesn't push stuff down, it relaxes stuff down. So you might not want to try, you are not trying to force this down. It will happen. So you just have to practice and practice, and one day you'll be like, oh yes, I just felt it there, and it wasn't scary at all, right? Because if you already have these prolapse symptoms, it can be very scary to think about your breath actually pushing stuff down, right? So, but this is how your pelvic floor relaxes if it's very tight. Your prolapse symptoms will get worse. It's like a catch-22 a little bit. It's like if you have prolapse symptoms, you're trying to keep this in really, really hard, right? Even if it's just subconsciously, so you're getting really tight, but because your pelvic floor is tight, it cannot get strong enough to hold your organs back in, because the tight muscles can get strong. So that's kind of a vicious cycle, right? So your inhale, you can use that to start relaxing your pelvic floor. So just let it flow, just let it go. Just imagine that you have this balloon in here. Don't force anything, don't push anything, just imagine, and it will happen. So this is the breathing assessment. And of course, for each part of the breathing, when you're like, oh, I feel my ribs in the front, just not in the back. Oh, my shoulders come up, right? Even though I feel expansion. Oh, everything goes in my belly. I don't feel nothing in my back. Or I cannot breathe into my pelvic floor at all. Like I don't feel anything down there. So these are the different common things that are like the sticky points, I call them, when it comes to breathing and deep breathing. So ideally, all of this needs to work together, right? All of what we just went over has to perfectly, with each breath, kind of, work together. So if it doesn't, and it most probably doesn't, because we have kind of forgotten how to breathe, right? Sadly. There's different exercises for whatever you're working on, what your sticky point is, to help you focus on those sticky points and get that breath flowing wherever it is stuck. Long video. So this was a video to the breathing assessment, and yes, just assess your breathing, write it down, and then you can start working on it and come back to your notes later on, and then you can see your progress, right? You can actually measure it. When you like today, maybe you said, oh, ribs didn't move at all, and then in 2 or 3 weeks time you're like, oh, I just felt my ribs move. So that's a win. That's how you can kind of measure that, right? Well, I'm gonna say goodbye for now, and I will see you in one of my other videos.